Guys, I'm going to show you a few lettering little hacks here. So I'm going to use some Bristol paper to play in and to practice in. I always like to practice before going to the real deal thing. So I like the Bristol paper because of the smooth surface. So the first thing I want to show you is adding serifs. So we're going to take some kind of simple letters, so nothing major fancy. Serifs are really good if you don't feel comfortable with all of the curly Q font stuff or script. Serifs are good little quick something. Now you will see, I say this is plain Jane writing. One thing that I do though, I love just the curls. Anytime I've got a hangy down, and honestly I kind of want to curl this too, but I'm not because I'm gonna add a serif down there. But curling your ends a lot of times will make things look a lot just a little bit cooler and cuter. Now I'm going to show you two different brushes because I don't ever want you to feel limited that you don't have the right brush so you can't do lettering. Okay, you can use lots of different kinds of brushes. I'll use this filbert to begin with. I like to add water to my black paint. That helps it to be a little bit more fluid. And you're gonna need that, especially when you're doing this on a wood surface. You'll notice that sometimes after one letter, all of a sudden your paint is gone, and it just is a lot easier to have a smooth looking letter if it's got a little bit of water in there. Okay, so I've got it on there, and then just with the edge, I'm gonna add these little serifs right on here. One little tip is if you do a serif and it is not exactly like you wanted it, just leave it, okay? Don't go back and try to do anything to it, because whenever I've gone back and try to do something to it and try to make it look a little bit better is when it's not so great. So here, this is one. I'm gonna come back and on a few of these, I'm gonna just thicken it up just a little bit. That should be good. And then I also want to show you the same technique using a round brush. It's not a whole lot different. I just want to show you, see this is the round pointy brush. So the difference with a round brush is you can get a really fine line if you don't press down hard, and then you can kind of get this medium line if you do give it some pressure. So you can get different thicknesses pretty easily with the round. The only thing is sometimes people are hesitant to use the round, because to get those thin lines, you have to not put a lot of pressure, and sometimes that is hard for people, but that's where the practice comes in, okay? That's why we're doing this on Bristol paper right now and not on the real deal. You do this as many times as you want to. Take whatever phrase that you are wanting to do, play around with different fonts, different layouts, different letter styles. You may want, everything on one plane. You may want to be bouncy. Just play and practice, and then once you practice several times, then you'll feel confident to head to your door hanger or your canvas or wherever you are lettering. Just don't skip the practice part and the thinking about it part, because that's important. Let's see. Some people just think that if it doesn't come easily and if you can't just like whip it out, then it's not good. But that is not the case at all. Anything worth doing takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of thinking, a little bit of planning. All right, so there we've got that. Now I'm going to give it a little bit of a highlight. And again, some people don't feel comfortable doing the highlight, so practice on the Bristol paper and see if you feel comfortable or not before you head to the reel. So I'm going to get some white. I'll also add a little bit of water into my white. And this, I'm going to be using my small skinny brush, the same one that I did the serifs. And I'm just very lightly going to just kind of highlight in some places. Okay. I don't want to trace everything. I'm trying to keep it to the side if possible. If it goes right down the middle of the line, sometimes it's just a little bit hard on the eyes if it's like a black, white, black. Some of my black may not be dry enough to accept this white paint, but I think you get the gist. So the takeaways from this video. that I want you to know is one, practice, okay? So practice on paper first. This Bristol paper is great. Add serifs is an easy way to jazz up your letters, or pizzazz it up is like what we like to call it. A filbert brush or a round pointy brush is great, and then adding water to your black paint to help it be a little bit more fluid. So that is, there's a tip for you. All right, y'all have fun with it.